Ifeka, fortified by the wisdom imparted by Neka, stood poised at the threshold of a journey that would weave her story into the legends of Agboka. I will embrace this quest, Neka. I will seek out the heart of this curse and confront the shadows that seek to engulf our lands, she declared, her resolve shining like a beacon in the night. The time had come for Ifeka and young Chike to part ways with Neka. The air around them was heavy with the scent of morning dew and the unspoken emotions of imminent farewell. Neka, with the wisdom of years etched into the lines of her face, stepped forward, her arms cradling something wrapped in cloth. Ifeka Chikere, the journey ahead is marked with both hope and peril. But remember, you carry with you the strength of your ancestors, the love of your mother, Ada Obi, and now a piece of my heart, she said, her voice thick with emotion as she unveiled a small, intricately carved amulet. This has been with me through many moons. It's a talisman of protection and guidance. Let it watch over you as you walk the path to Agboka. Ifeka, her eyes brimming with tears, reached out to accept the amulet, feeling its warmth and the pulsing energy of years of wisdom and protection imbued within. Neka, your kindness and guidance have been a light in the darkest of times. This means more to us than words can express, she managed to say, her voice breaking with the swell of emotions. Chike, young and yet touched by the gravity of the moment, clutched at Neka's skirts, his small face a mask of bravery and sadness. Will we see you again, Neka? He asked, his voice barely a whisper, betraying his attempt at being strong. Neka knelt down to meet his gaze, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. Oh, my brave little one, the bonds we've formed here are not easily broken by distance or time. In our hearts, we're never truly apart, she said, pulling him into a warm embrace that spoke volumes of the love and protective bond they shared. The moment stretched, filled with the sound of soft sobs and whispered words of encouragement as they held each other close, reluctant to let go. You must go forth with courage, Ifeka Chike. Your journey is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, and I have faith in the both of you, Neka said, finally stepping back, her hands lingering on their shoulders as if to impart one last piece of her strength. Ifeka, her heart heavy yet filled with a new resolve, nodded, her eyes locked with Neka's. We will carry your wisdom with us, Neka, and in the heart of Agboka, we will find our answers and hope for a new dawn. Thank you for everything. Neka, the revered sage, along with her fellow aides, took their turns to extend warm and heartfelt farewells to Ifeka and Chike, enveloping them in an ambiance of sincere goodbyes and well wishes. With the amulet clasped tightly in her hand and young Chike by her side, Ifeka turned towards the path that would lead them back to Agboka, each step a mix of determination and a poignant longing for the safety and warmth they were leaving behind. The silhouette of Neka, a steadfast guardian of wisdom and love, remained etched in their minds as they ventured forth, her blessings a guiding light on their journey toward healing and redemption. With the first light of dawn casting a golden hue over Ikolo, Ifeka and her son embarked on her journey, her path illuminated by the wisdom of Neka and the undying love of Adaobi. The road ahead promised trials and tribulations, but within Ifeka burned a flame of resolve, kindled by the tales of her ancestors and the enduring strength of her mother's spirit. Ifeka and her young son Chike embarked on their journey back to Okuku Kingdom under the golden hues of dawn, their hearts heavy with the farewells, yet buoyed by the hope of what lay ahead. The path to Agboka was not an easy one. It wound through the dense forests of Ikolo, across meandering rivers that whispered ancient secrets, and over hills that bore witness to countless sunrises and sunsets. As they delved into the embrace of Ikolo's forest, a realm where light and shadow danced in an eternal ballet. Cheek's small hand found solace in the strength of his mother's grasp. Mother. His voice, a tender echo amidst the symphony of the woods, broke the silence. Will the spirits of the forest watch over us? Ifeka, her gaze piercing through the verdant veils of the underbrush, replied with a voice imbued with the warmth of 1,000 sunrises. Yes, my heart. The ancestors tread beside us, their whispers in the wind, their strength in the soil beneath our feet. We walk the path they once trod, guided by their eternal wisdom. As they ventured deeper into the forest, the canopy above weaved a tapestry of light and shadow, with the occasional call of a distant bird or the rustle of leaves underfoot as their only companions. Ifeka, ever vigilant, led Chikere by the hand, her senses attuned to the rhythms of nature, wary of the hidden dangers that lurked within the underbrush. As they navigated the tapestry of shadows and whispers within the forest's heart, a moment of stillness beckoned. Ifeka halted, sensing an unseen thread in the air, a silent conversation between the ancient spirits and the pulse of the earth. Chikere, sensing the shift, gazed up, his young eyes searching his mother's face for assurance. Mother, Chikere's voice trembled slightly, not with fear, but with the weight of a journey that stretched his young soul beyond its years. In the tales of old, heroes face great trials. Do you think I can be brave like them? Ifeka knelt, bringing herself to the level of her son's searching gaze. The forest around them seemed to lean in, as if to listen. Chikere, my heart, she began, her voice a soft melody that seemed to blend with the rustling leaves. True bravery isn't the absence of fear. It's the light that shines even when the path is veiled in shadow. Your courage, my son, is the echo of our ancestors' strength that beats within you. Chikia's eyes, reflecting the dappled light, held a universe of questions and dreams. But how do you find the light when all around is dark? He whispered, the vulnerability of his age woven with the beginnings of a warrior's resolve. Ifeka reached for the amulet Neka had entrusted them with, its surface catching the fleeting light. See this talisman? It's more than a guardian. It's a reminder that even in the deepest dark, there's a spark within us, a legacy of those who walked before. Your light, my son, comes from the love you carry, the hope you nurture, and the courage you choose, moment by moment. Chikere, emboldened by his mother's words, straightened, a new-found resolve in his posture. I will carry our light, mother. Through storms and shadows, I will be the beacon for our path back to Agboka. Ifeka, her heart swelling with pride and love, embraced Chikere tightly, their bond a beacon against the encroaching gloom. Together, my son, we are invincible. Our journey is more than a path through the wilderness. It's a testament to the strength of our spirit, the bond of our blood, and the unyielding hope for Agboka's dawn. As they stood hand in hand, the forest around them seemed to acknowledge their resolve. The very air charged with the promise of their journey and the tales that would one day be sung of Ifeka and her brave son Chikere, who faced the unknown with hearts alight and spirits unbroken, oblivious to the hidden dangers that lurked within the underbrush. Their first encounter was with a swiftly flowing river, its waters clear yet deceptively strong. Ifeka, drawing upon the resilience instilled in her by her mother's teachings and Neka's wisdom, surveyed the tumultuous scene before them. Dark clouds loomed overhead, heavy with the promise of impending thunderstorms, and raindrops began to patter against the leaves, adding urgency to their task. Undeterred by the elements, Ifeka set to work, her hands deftly weaving fallen branches and sturdy vines into a makeshift raft. With each knot tied and branch secured, she felt the determination within her grow stronger, fueled by her unwavering commitment to their quest. As thunder rumbled in the distance and rain fell in earnest, Ifeka and Chikere embarked upon the river, their raft navigating the swirling currents with cautious precision. The relentless pull of the waters tested their resolve, but their bond remained unyielding, a steadfast beacon of strength amidst the tempestuous weather. Together, they faced the challenges of the river, each moment drawing them closer to the heart of the curse they sought to vanquish. And as they journeyed onward, their spirits soared with the knowledge that no storm, however fierce, could extinguish the flame of their determination. Beyond the river lay the whispering plains, a vast expanse where the grasses danced with the wind, carrying tales of old. It was here that they faced their second trial, a sudden storm that descended upon them with little warning, the skies darkening as the winds howled in fury. Ifeka and Chikere sought shelter beneath a lone baobab tree, its wide branches a protective embrace against the elements. As they huddled together, Ifeka recounted tales of courage and hope, her voice a steady anchor amidst the chaos of the storm. In anticipation of Ifeka and Chikere's discreet return to Agboka Kingdom, Okoro, the village's sage, orchestrated a series of thoughtful preparations. Anticipation hung in the air like a palpable force. Okoro, the village's sage and guardian of traditions, awaited their arrival with a sense of foreboding. Assigned the role of the keeper of the flame, Okoro was tasked with maintaining the spiritual and cultural integrity of Agboka. His deep-set eyes, framed by a weathered face, scanned the horizon for any sign of Ifeka and Chikere, his mind troubled by the portents and omens that seemed to multiply with each passing day. He arranged for them to stay in a secluded dwelling on the village outskirts, ensuring their safety and anonymity during this sensitive time. Upon arrival, her mind was a whirlwind of emotions. The sight that met Ka was heart-wrenching. Her village, once vibrant and full of life, was now shrouded in an ominous gloom. The calamity spoken of by the messenger was a sickness that had spread like wildfire, leaving despair in its wake. Ifeka, drawing upon the inner strength she'd garnered from her journey and the wisdom imparted by Nika, knew that her role was not just to be a witness to this sorrow, but to be an instrument of healing. The potion given to her by Neka, meant to awaken her latent powers, now seemed to be a key not only to her own healing, but potentially to the village's as well. As she beheld the devastation before her, tears welled in Ifeka's eyes, her heart heavy with the weight of betrayal she and her mother had endured from the land of Agboka. But in that moment of vulnerability, she felt Chikere's reassuring presence beside her, a silent reminder of the love and support that sustained her. With a deep breath, Ifeka composed herself, banishing thoughts of anger and revenge from her mind. She knew that healing could only come from a place of compassion and forgiveness. And so, with a determined resolve, she set forth to fulfill her destiny, her heart ablaze with the hope of restoring light to her beloved village. As Ifeka and Chikere finally emerged from the edge of the forest, their silhouettes painted against the backdrop of the setting sun, a hush fell over Agboka. Okoro stepped forward, his presence commanding yet reassuring, as he welcomed them back to the fold. Ifeka, Chikere, you have journeyed through the shadows and returned to us, bearing the light of hope, he declared, his voice resonating with the wisdom of his station. Come, share your tales by the sacred fire, so we may learn and grow from the trials you have overcome. Okoro ushered Ifeka and Chikere into his humble hut at the village's edge, a dwelling of sun-hardened clay and a thatched roof seasoned by the elements. Inside, the scent of herbs and the warm light of oil lamps welcomed them, while a lively hearth fire banished the evening's cold. Adding wood to the fire, Okoro prepared a meal from the land's harvest, hearty root vegetables, and a richly simmering broth. They ate from earthen bowls, the steam carrying the comfort of home-cooked sustenance. In the hut's embrace, the traveller's burdens eased. It was a sanctuary for body and soul, a place for shedding past shadows under Okoro's care. Privately, Okoro connected Ifeka and Chikire with allies to navigate village life discreetly to help them reintegrate without drawing attention, and planned cultural reintegration sessions. A future ceremony, he hoped, would publicly honor their return, unite Agboka, and celebrate a new chapter of community and strength. Through these careful measures, Okoro aimed to protect Ifeka and Chikere while preparing the village for a collective moment of healing and new beginnings. As they settled into the warmth and comfort of Okoro's hut, their bellies filled with the nourishing meal he had prepared, the sage deemed it the right moment to share his thoughts and plans. The fire crackled softly, a gentle accompaniment to his deep, resonant voice that filled the small space with an air of solemnity and purpose. Efeka Chikir, Okoro began, his eyes reflecting the fire's glow. The journey you have embarked upon and now completed is one of great significance, not only to you, but to all of Agboka. However, the time is not yet right to reveal your return to the fold. Okoro paused, the crackle of the fire punctuating his words. Agboka faces unrest, and your arrival might unsettle the village further, he said cautiously. Many are discontented, lacking answers for the hardships they endure. He stirred the flames thoughtfully. For now, your return must remain our secret. We must navigate these tense times with care, ensuring your presence isn't misconstrued or met with resistance. Ifeka nodded, understanding the delicacy of their position, while Chikare's grip on her hand tightened. Okoro outlined a plan for quiet reintegration, allowing the village's immediate troubles to settle. In due time, he promised, when the village is ready, we'll share your journey, your resilience becoming a beacon to rally Agboka's spirit. Okoro's strategy was to wait, to allow Efeka and Chikere to return under more favorable circumstances when they could help heal and inspire a community grappling with its woes. In the meantime, Okoro continued, his tone imbued with a sense of strategic planning, I will work to prepare the ground, to subtly shift the tides within Agboka in favor of acceptance and unity. When the moment is ripe, we will step forth from the shadows, your story a beacon of hope and resilience that will guide Agboka into a new dawn. The plan laid forth by Okoro was one of patience and prudence, a path that wound its way through the current complexities of Agboka's social and spiritual landscape, with the aim of ensuring a future where Efeka and Chikere could not only exist, but thrive and lead the kingdom into healing and prosperity. Ifeka, deeply moved by Okoro's plan, felt a stirring within her that couldn't be ignored. With eyes brimming with tears, she expressed an urgent need to reconnect with the widows of Agboka, the women who had been like a family to her and her mother. As Okoro's words settled in the air, Ifeka's resolve crystallized, driven by an emotional tide that could not be stilled. Okoro, Ifeka began, her voice trembling with a mixture of resolve and burgeoning tears. I hold your wisdom close to my heart, and I understand the path you've laid before us. But there's a call within me that cannot be silenced, a pull towards the widows of Agboka who have, in many ways, been the weave of my mother's and my own existence. Her eyes, glistening with unshed tears, met Okoro's, conveying the depth of her emotion. These women, they've been more than just acquaintances. They've been our strength, our sisters in spirit. In our absence, I can only imagine the void that has grown, the struggles they've faced without the support we once offered each other. Ifeka's voice broke as she spoke of the widows, each word laden with the weight of shared joys and sorrows. I feel their hardships in my soul, wise one. The thought of their suffering, their potential loneliness, without the communal bond that once held us together, it's a burden that weighs heavily upon me. She clasped her hands tightly, a gesture of plea and determination. I must see them, Okoro, even if it means doing so in disguise. Chikere and I can tread softly, unseen, just as the leopard you spoke of, but we cannot delay. There's a part of me that fears what prolonged absence might mean for their spirits, for the fabric of our sisterhood that has always been a cornerstone of Agboka. Ifeka's plea was heartfelt, her tears a testament to the genuine concern and love she held for the widows of Agboka. The emotional gravity of her words hung between them. Okoro, moved by the depth of Ifeka's emotions and her unwavering dedication to the women who had formed such an integral part of her life, found himself re-evaluating the situation. The decision that lay before him was fraught with complexity, balancing the need for caution with the undeniable pull of human connection and the healing it could bring not just to Ifeka and the widows, but potentially to the entire kingdom of Agboka. Understanding the depth of Ifeka's emotional plea and recognizing the potential for healing and reconnection it presented, Okoro ultimately agreed to her request. Ifeka, your heart's call to tend to the bonds that tie you to the widows of Agboka cannot be ignored, he conceded, his voice reflecting a blend of concern and respect for her determination. Ifeka, relieved and invigorated by Okoro's approval, prepared for her discreet venture with Chikere. Ifeka disguised herself in subdued Ankara fabric, her hair hidden under a coordinating head wrap. Streaks of ash across her face obscured her familiar features. Carrying a basket of herbs, she visited the widows, her identity concealed by the common garb, blending seamlessly with the village's evening bustle. During her time away from Agboka, particularly in the nurturing company of Neka, Ifeka had not remained idle. Her hands, once accustomed to the communal labors of Agboka, found new soil to till and seeds to sow, engaging in farming work that, over the span of so many years, had yielded a bountiful harvest and, subsequently, a considerable sum of money. This money, carefully saved and now brought back to the heart of Agboka, was to be her gift to the widows who had once stood by her and her mother. Ifeka, with a heart full of hope and arms laden with food and clothing items purchased with her hard-earned savings, set out with Chikere under the guise of early morning shadows. As Ifeka and Chikere moved discreetly from door to door, their gifts brought not only material relief, but also a sense of solidarity and hope to the widows of Agboka, rekindling the warmth of community spirit in a kingdom that was slowly emerging from the shadows of past tribulations. On the day of the Ike market, as the sun rose casting a golden glow over Agboka, Ifeka and Chikere, laden with gifts, made their way into the bustling heart of the community. The market, alive with the vibrant colors and sounds of trade and conversation, was a tapestry of life, a place where the pulse of Agboka could truly be felt. As they began distributing hope, gifts, and the warmth of love through their actions, a ripple of whispers spread through the crowd of widows gathered there. The air was thick with curiosity and gratitude, the murmurs weaving a complex web of emotions and speculation. Look at the way she moves with such grace and kindness. It's as if our beloved Adaobi walks among us once more, one whispered, her eyes following Ifeka's every move, a sense of déjà vu enveloping her heart. Another, her hands clutching a piece of clothing as if it were a precious lifeline, murmured, could it be that Ifeka has heard our cries from afar? Has she sent us this guardian in her stead? Another caught in the swell of hope added, her presence, it's like seeing Ifeka among us again. And from the back, a hopeful murmur rose, perhaps the gods have seen our plight and sent us a guardian, a beacon of hope in these times. Amidst the crowd, a younger widow, her eyes bright with unshed tears, speculated aloud. Whose daughter could this be, bearing gifts as if from the very heavens? Their presence is a balm to our weary souls. An elder of the community, leaning on her walking stick, her voice a crackling whisper, said, there's a spirit in her, a light that reminds me of the days when Adaobi would walk through these very markets, spreading joy and compassion. Could the circle be complete once more? And from the fringes of the crowd, a voice tinged with wonder and hope speculated, perhaps the gods have looked upon our suffering and sent us this benevolent spirit, a beacon of hope in these trying times. Agboka may yet see brighter days. As the whispers and murmurs swirled through the crowd at the Ike market, a voice pierced the buzz of speculation with a note of astonishment. Goodness! Her voice bears a very close resemblance to my best friend, Ifeka. The proclamation cut through the din, drawing the attention of many. The speaker, a widow adorned in the traditional black ankara of mourning, craned her neck to get a better view, her heart racing with a mixture of hope and disbelief. Ifeka, amidst her act of generosity, turned toward the source of the outcry, her eyes locking with those of the widow. In that brief moment, recognition flickered in Ifeka's gaze as she beheld Ezilka, a friend from a life that seemed like a distant memory. The connection was instantaneous, a thread of the past pulling taut, bridging years of separation and silence. Yet, when their eyes met, Ifeka's initial joy of potential reunion with Izika was swiftly overshadowed by a tumult of conflicting emotions. Flashbacks of past hurts and anguish flooded her mind as she averted her gaze, realizing the precariousness of their situation. In a whirlwind of thoughts, she wondered why Izika was clad in mourning attire. Could it be that Chief Obidi had passed away? Ifeka was torn between revealing who she was and the need to maintain the anonymity that Okoro had advised, at least until the time was right. Izika, on her part, was left in a state of confusion and wonder. The resemblance was uncanny, the mannerisms, the warmth in her eyes, all evoked memories of Ifeka, yet the swift avoidance left her perplexed. Could it really be her? She pondered, her mind racing with questions and the faint stirrings of hope rekindling in her heart. The encounter, brief and charged with unspoken questions, added another layer of mystery to the day's events. The widows, sensing the undercurrents of a deeper story, whispered among themselves with renewed curiosity. Ifeka, her heart heavy with the weight of unrecognized reunions, continued her mission, her resolve strengthened by the faces of hope and gratitude that surrounded her, even as she carried the burden of necessary secrets. On their way back to Okoro's hut, Ifeka's mind was a whirlwind of thoughts and emotions. The sight of Ezika in mourning attire haunted her, raising a tumult of questions and fears. Could it be that Chief Obidi has passed? She pondered, the possibility weighing heavily on her heart. Upon arriving, she sought out Okoro, the turmoil within her demanding answers. Okoro, ever the pillar of wisdom and knowledge in Agboka, listened intently to her concerns before sharing the somber news that confirmed her fears. Ifeka stood still, her past and present colliding softly like leaves in the wind. Life had moved Ezeka like a river since she last called Agboka home. She had remarried, finding brief happiness with a man from a neighboring village, but sorrow followed joy. She lost her husband just last year. Ifeka, Okoro began, his voice tinged with the sorrow that had enveloped their community. The shadows that have lingered over Agboka have indeed cast their pall over your husband, Chief Obidi. The curse that has gripped our land spared him not, and his union with Ezeka became a battleground of strife and anguish. He paused, allowing the gravity of his words to sink in. Chief Obidi found no peace in his union with Ezeka. The discord and unrest sowed by Ezeka turned their home into a place of torment. Ifeka absorbed Okoro's words, each one landing with the weight of lost years and unresolved conflicts. The turmoil that engulfed Chief Obidi was not just a product of the curse that looms over Agboka or the discord with Ezeka, Okoro continued, his voice carrying a note of regret and sadness. Much of the strife he endured was also a repercussion of the injustices he and Ezeka inflicted upon you, Ifeka, he sighed, the burden of the kingdom's sorrows evident in his posture. The way you were treated, the betrayal you suffered at their hands, it set forth a chain of events, a cycle of negativity that eventually consumed Chief Obidi's household. It is a stark reminder of how our actions resonate, affecting not just our lives, but the fabric of Agboka itself. Okoro continued, explaining how Chief Obidi, burdened by the weight of his troubled union with Ezeka and the consequences of their choices, gradually withdrew into solitude. He transformed into a solitary figure, his once vibrant presence now dimmed as he retreated from the community's gaze. Ifeka, confronted with the intricate interplay of cause and effect that Okoro had unveiled, experienced a whirlwind of emotions. She felt a profound sense of sorrow, not only for Chief Obidi's altered circumstances, but also for the profound sadness and suffering he had endured. A man she once knew as vibrant, now diminished by the burdens he bore. Alongside this sorrow, there lingered a poignant acknowledgement of the role their past actions, particularly towards her, had played in contributing to Chief Obidi's downfall. This revelation deepened her understanding of the interconnectedness of all lives within Agboka and the profound impact of one's deeds on the community's collective destiny. It reinforced her resolve to be a catalyst for healing and change, to mend the tears in Agboka's fabric, wrought by years of curses and misdeeds, starting with addressing the injustices of her past. After months of quietly weaving their care and compassion into the fabric of Agboka, Ifeka and her son had become silent beacons of hope within the community. Sensing the time was ripe for their true identities to be unveiled, Okoro, the keeper of the flame and a sage of profound wisdom, knew the moment had come to bring their story into the light. With deliberate intention, Okoro arranged for a grand gathering at the heart of the village, a space hallowed by the presence of the sacred fire. This fire, a revered symbol of Agboka's resilience and unity, was to be the centerpiece of the revelation, its flames a testament to the enduring spirit of the community and the transformative journey of Ifeka and Shikere. As the villagers assembled, drawn by the promise of shared warmth and the unveiling of a mystery that had quietly stirred their midst, the sacred fire blazed ever brighter. Okoro meticulously arranged the firewood, ensuring the flames would rise high and strong, a beacon for all of Agboka to see and gather around. The air was charged with anticipation, the villagers' faces illuminated by the flickering glow of the fire, their eyes reflecting a mix of curiosity and hope. They stood in a wide circle around the clearing, the sacred fire at its center, creating a space that felt removed from the passage of time, a place where the very essence of Agboka was palpable. In the embrace of Agboka's sacred fire, with the entire village gathered in a circle of anticipation, Okoro stood with a presence that commanded attention, yet radiated warmth. The firelight danced across his features, casting a glow that seemed to ignite the words within him, waiting to be shared. Today, Okoro began, his voice resonant and imbued with a deep passion that echoed the crackle of the flames. We stand at the cusp of a new dawn for Agboka. We gather not just to witness the revelation of identities, but to embrace the lessons and the love that have been sown in our midst, quietly yet profoundly, by Ifeka and her son, Chikere. His words, spoken with a fervor that resonated with every soul present, wove a narrative of Ifeka and Chikere's journey, their resilience in the face of trials, their boundless compassion, and their unwavering commitment to the well-being of Agboka. In their actions, in their grace, we see the essence of what it means to be a part of this community. They remind us that strength lies not in standing apart, but in weaving our lives together, in sharing our burdens and our joys. Okoro's speech, passionate and heartfelt, moved through the crowd like a wind, stirring emotions and kindling a sense of unity and purpose. Let us draw from their example. Let us kindle within ourselves the same flame of hope and love. For in each of us burns the potential to lift Agboka from the shadows of the past, to forge a future illuminated by the light of our collective spirit. The sage's passionate plea, a call to action and reflection, left a palpable energy in its wake, a shared resolve to move forward, inspired by the story of Ifeka and Chikere. Their unveiling became more than just a moment of revelation. It became a catalyst for Agboka's transformation, a testament to the power of community and the enduring strength of the human spirit. When Okoro unveiled the true identities of Ifeka and her son to the gathered villagers of Agboka, a stirring moment unfolded. Amid the revelation, a woman cloaked in the somber drapes of mourning made her way through the assembly with a desperation that silenced the whispers around her. Her black attire, a stark contrast against the flickering orange of the sacred fire, marked her as a soul in the depths of grief. In an act of raw emotion and penitence, she rushed toward Ifeka, collapsing at her feet, her hands clutching Ifeka's foot as tears streamed down her face. The crowd watched in hushed anticipation, the air thick with the weight of unfolding drama. Ifeka, taken aback, turned to find the source of the commotion and recognized Ezika, her heart clenching at the sight of her old friend so broken and remorseful. With a gentleness that spoke volumes of her character, Ifeka bent down, her hands reaching out to lift Ezika from the ground, her own eyes brimming with tears. Ezika, overwhelmed by guilt and sorrow, looked into Ifeka's eyes, her voice trembling as she sought forgiveness for the pain and betrayal of the past. "Please forgive me, my friend," she implored, her sobs punctuating each word. Ifeka, moved by the depth of Ezika's remorse and the shared history that bound them, responded with a compassion that hushed the crowd. She tenderly wiped away Ezika's tears, enveloping her in an embrace that spoke of forgiveness and the possibility of healing. "I have forgiven you, my friend," Ifeka whispered, her voice steady despite her own tears. "What happened between us was not solely your doing, but also the result of the curse that has shadowed Agboka. This exchange, witnessed by the entire community and young Chikere, became a testament to the power of forgiveness and the possibility of reconciliation, even in the face of deep-seated pain and betrayal. Ifeka's act of forgiveness towards Ezika not only healed the rift between them, but also served as a poignant reminder to all of Agboka of the strength found in compassion and the potential for new beginnings, free from the shadows of the past. As the heartfelt scene of forgiveness between Ifeka and Ezika unfolded by the warmth of the sacred fire, the air still buzzing with the energy of newfound reconciliation, a soft yet distinct sound captured the attention of the gathering. The unmistakable cry of a child. The plaintive sound, filled with longing and innocence, seemed to emanate from the edge of the crowd, drawing the eyes of the villagers to a young boy no more than a few years old, standing alone, his small form silhouetted against the glow of the firelight. Ifeka, her heart still heavy with the emotion of her reunion with Ezika, turned towards the sound, her maternal instincts immediately awakened. As she approached the child, she noticed the striking familiarity in his features, a haunting echo of her own. The boy's eyes, wide and brimming with unshed tears, met hers, and in that instant a connection, deep and undeniable, was forged between them. The crowd murmured with curiosity and astonishment as Ifeka knelt before the boy, her voice gentle and inviting. "What is your name, little one?" she asked, her tone laced with a tenderness that quieted the child's sobs. Through sniffles, the boy replied, "Obi," his small hand reaching out to grasp hers, an instinctive gesture of trust and longing for comfort. The revelation sent a ripple through the gathered villagers, as whispers and exchanged glances hinted at the realization dawning upon them. Obi, a name that resonated with significance, bore the legacy of Agboka's recent past. He was the last child of Ezika and Chief Obidi, a son born into the tumult of a fractured union and the shadows of the village's trials. Ifeka, processing the weight of this discovery, looked back at Ezika, her eyes seeking understanding. In that moment, the depth of their shared history, the complexities of their intertwined fates, and the innocence of the child before them wove together a new tapestry of connection and responsibility. With a resolve that spoke of her unyielding spirit and capacity for compassion, Efeka extended her hand to Ezika, inviting her to join in this circle of healing. Together, with Obi as the unexpected bridge between their worlds, they stood, a testament to the possibility of mending the deepest of rifts through empathy and the acknowledgement of shared humanity. As little Chikere, watching this unfold, moved to stand beside Obi, offering him the simple comfort of companionship, the villagers of Agboka bore witness to an emotional tableau that spoke of forgiveness, the innocence of children as catalysts for unity, and the enduring hope for a harmonious future free from the burdens of the past. As Ifeka and her son Chikere ventured deeper into the heart of Agboka, they brought with them the healing wisdom and the spirit of forgiveness they had cultivated under Neka's guidance. With herbs and knowledge, they tended to the sick, forging a pathway of healing that enveloped the village, their acts of kindness becoming a balm to the community's weary soul. Ezika, moved by their compassion and grace, found herself drawn to their side, following in their wake as they moved through the village. The transformation within her was palpable as she witnessed the power of forgiveness and the healing it brought, not just to the body, but to the spirit. In the renewed heart of Agboka, where life blossomed anew with vibrant hues, Chief Obidi wandered aimlessly, a spectre of regret drifting amidst the flourishing landscape. News of Ifeka's gentle ministrations reached him, carried on whispers that stirred a tempest of shame deep within his soul. He moved like a shadow, his steps silent and burdened, keeping himself shrouded from the healing light of her presence. Each passing moment was haunted by the thought of seeking her forgiveness, a weight that pressed heavily upon his heart and clouded his every decision. Yet, despite the turmoil that raged within him, a glimmer of hope flickered faintly, whispering of the possibility of redemption amidst the ruins of his past transgressions. One thing was painfully obvious. Chief Obidi harbored a deep and abiding love for Ifeka, a love that now gnawed at his very being as he grappled with the incomprehensible notion of why he had inflicted such pain upon her. The torment of his own actions weighed heavily upon him, each regretful thought a dagger to his wounded soul. How could he have been the cause of such anguish to someone he held so dear? The question echoed relentlessly in his mind, driving him deeper into the abyss of remorse and self-doubt. One sun-drenched morning, Chief Obidi, frail and burdened, ventured out to the edges of the vibrant Eek market. He sought herbs, a futile balm for the deeper sickness in his soul. Returning, fate steered him down a path that intersected with young Chike, who carried in his arms the very essence of hope and healing for the widows. As Chief Obidi watched from a distance, his heart clenched at the sight of Chikere. The boy bore a striking resemblance to him in his youth, a mirror reflecting his own past self. With each step closer, Chief Obidi felt a rush of emotions flood over him, a mix of nostalgia, regret, and an overwhelming sense of recognition. Questions raced through Chief Obidi's mind, each one a dagger of uncertainty. Could this boy be my own flesh and blood? Did I unknowingly contribute to his suffering just as I did to Ifeka's? And if so, how can I ever make amends for the pain I've caused?
Eager for more tales, be they magical or grounded in reality? Stay tuned by subscribing and hitting the bell icon so you won't miss our next story. Show some love with a like, share this journey with others, and share your thoughts in the comments. The next chapter awaits, full of surprises and insights. Until then, thank you for being part of our storytelling adventure.